G'day, welcome one and all to another installment of Guvs Hero Review videos. We are going to continue in our rock band series, this time taking a look at the 5-star legendary red heroine, Roxie, the Dazzling Lead Vocalist. So Roxie is available for summons only during the Battle of the Bands portal, which rolls around once every 12 weeks, as it's on an alternating 4-week rotation schedule with the Mercenary and Zombie events. So it goes Merc, Battle of the Band, Zombie, Merc, Battle of the Band, Zombie, so on and so forth. So in the overall scheme of the game, Roxie is a relatively new release hero. She was first added in August 2022 with the initial installment of the Battle of the Bands event. The family was further expanded in March 2023 with 3 additional heroes, and a brand new one was actually dropped just yesterday in January 2024, but we'll talk about all of them in other videos, so check those out if you're interested. I'm going to flip over to a picture of her artwork and we can have a look at that. So not really too much to say. This artwork was provided by 2 people actually. When I put a request out there, it was done by Frankie and Fearless Phantom, so thanks guys for that. But the artwork, I mean, it's got kind of those, I guess, glamorous lead vocalist, really, or dazzling lead vocalist, I should say. Bit of a glitzy gold microphone, got the mic stand dancing away to it, but yeah, not much else really to say on it. It's fairly uneventful in the scheme of things. So having a look at not him, her. Back to her card, and we'll take a look at her family bonus. So being a member of the rock band family, Roxie will automatically gain armor at the start of each wave. The amount of armor is equal to 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30% of her max HP if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique rock band family members in the battle. So note, it is unique heroes. It can't be 2 copies of Roxie. It's got to be like Roxie and Mayhem or Roxie and Undertaker, for example. The Rock Band family will also gain a bonus when they're used in the Battle of the Bands event. Specifically, they will gain a plus 4, 8, 12, 16, or 20% attack and defense boost if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique Rock Band family members in your team. Note that this only applies when they're used in the Battle of the Bands event. It doesn't apply at any other time of the event. It's only, the game, it's only during this one event specifically. In terms of her personal stats, Roxie has 697 attack, 759 defense, and 1457 HP. So a little bit of a reduction in the attack stat and an improvement in the defense and a slight improvement in that HP stat, but yeah, not a dramatic skewing of those stats overall. Her charge speed is set to 47, which is average. This requires 11 tiles to charge, so it's the slower end of the average spectrum, or 6 ghosted tiles. A speed break requires only plus 3 speed, which is possible using either the 4 or 5-star speed guns. So you can do that using the Tigger Happy weapon, which is a 4-star, or the Firewing Trigger or Chekhov SVK weapons in the 5-star. You can actually get a double speed break, so dropping it down to 9 tiles to charge. To do this, you need to use a plus 9 speed gun, so the Firewing Trigger or the Chekhov's SVK, and her 2% class node. You can't just do it with the speed weapons because it requires plus 10 charge speed. So yeah, so you can double break her, but you need the plus 9 speed weapon and the 2% class node. So speaking of her class, Roxie is a member of the Medic class heroes, which grants the chance to heal all allies for 7% health after receiving any damage. It is a very handy perk to have. It's essentially free healing to all your allies. The downside is that it only procs once at the end of each turn, so it doesn't matter how many instances of damage you can take. You can take 15 minion strikes. She's still only going to heal 1 time, so a little bit of a down on that. In terms of her emblem parts specifically, I do not have a copy of Roxie, but what I do have is I have a number of other red medic heroes. So we'll bring up Jocasta here and we can have a look, because this is basically the path that I recommend for all healers. So for Roxie, I would recommend going a defense and HP path. You could make an argument to go HP over defense for Rock Band family members to improve that family bonus that they get, but generally speaking, it's neither here nor there. It's only going to be a couple points of extra armor. So for me, I would go the defense, left there. I'd probably come right to pick up the defense bonus one because it's a multiplicative one. I'd go probably I would go left for the defense stat, and then we'd come there, and then we'd also go this way. You do need to pick up that class node down the bottom in order to speed break her the second time. So just keep an eye on that one as well. So can I get the full tree? Yep, we can. So this would be the path that I would take. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this way, 6 that way, and then I'd stop probably at 19. I don't see any real use at going to plus 20. Cool. So that would be the emblem path that I would take. So flipping back over to her card, there's one last thing to look at before we get to her special skill, which is the existence of the passive effect. So the passive ability is unique at this time to only the Rock Band family members. It's not been added to any other heroes. It might be down the track, but at this stage it isn't. In the case of Roxie, her passive ability is to apply +1 defense against special skill stack to all allies at the end of each turn. Each stack is worth +1% special skill defense, and a maximum of 35 stacks can be applied to any given hero. So that's a total of +35% special skill defense in total. Stacks are separate from buffs and ailments. They do multiply with each other, so they do compound, but the only way to reverse a negative stack is with the positive version and vice versa. So in this instance, the only way to reverse Roxie's positive defense against special skills stack would be with a negative defense against special skills stack, which, given the exclusivity and limited options, it's not currently possible. So there's no hero with a negative special skill defense stack in their skills. You can temporarily do it with a negative buff, but those will not remove the stack. They just go positive, multiply by the negative kind of thing. So it evens itself out for the duration of that buff. Moving on to her special skill. Her special skill is titled Once More with Feeling, and at level 10 skill and 47 charge speed will recover 485 HP for all allies. It will cleanse all status ailments from all allies, and finally will apply +6 stacks to all allies, each giving +1 defense against special skills. So breaking that apart a little bit, we'll start with the healing. Like damage, I find the best way to compare healers is on a per tile basis. So essentially, I calculate this by getting the healing in their skill multiplied by the range of the hero, so all enemies, so 5 heroes, divided by the number of tiles required to charge, 11 tiles. So following that process, we have 5 heroes multiplied by 485 HP, divided by 11 tiles, comes out at about 220 healing per tile. For some comparisons to some other red healers in the game, the best one is Pulse. She comes out at 273 when you factor in her minion as well. Her minion comes in with 236 HP, so that's 656 healing in total. Jocasta is an awesome healer, 227. You've got some other ones. Jargle is fairly common, 109. Zidane does heal over time. He's only 62 healing per tile. So a bit of a range. Roxie is a fairly solid option. She's in the 200s. She's a step above the bottom half of the pack, but she's a little bit tiny bit behind Jocasta in terms of the healing per tile. So not a bad hero at all, particularly when you consider that you can double break her and keep her relatively competitive. If we move on from just red heroes and compare Roxie to all the other 5-star healers in the game, or 4 and 5-star healers in the game, we can see Roxie comes in there at number 5 rank. So the best option is Pika Variant just because of her speed. Doc Colton actually comes up to being equal with Pika Variant when you factor in his bonus healing for the lowest HP. Jocasta and El Coyote, slight step above at 227 heal per tile. And then there's Roxie at number 5 rank with 220. Some other ones lower down, you've got Venus, who's 210. Pulse is 175 when you eliminate her minion. So Casimir, who's the featured hero of the month for Jan 24 at the time of this recording, he's 144. And then there's Jargle all the way down the bottom there at 109 heal per tile. So number 5 out of 16 isn't too bad. It is slightly less healing than some of those other options, but it's a lot more healing than most of the other healers in the game. So moving on from just looking at the healing, the second line of her skill is a full team cleanse. I love the pairing of cleansing and debuffing with healing heroes. It just adds another usefulness for them in raiding and war attacks. Cleanse, so it removes the ailments from your team. So not much more to say than that. So yeah, the final line of her skill is the addition of 6 stacks to each ally, each giving plus 1% defense against special skills to a maximum of 35 stacks, or plus 35% special skill defense. As noted above, it is a separate buff and can be bolstered further by buffs of the same effect. So if you pair Roxie with El Coyote, you get the 35% plus El Coyote's bonus on top of that. It also pairs with any other form of defense buff. So if you pair Roxie with Giles, you get a percentage-based defense buff and this defense against special skill. It is worth noting that this only improves the defense against direct damage from special skills, so any regular damage from tiles, slash attacks, minions, damage over time, anything like that, unaffected. So it does limit it slightly. Overall, in terms of Roxie, she is a very solid option for a healer. If you don't have, I'll start again there. If you do have the choice between her and Jocasta, I would probably prioritize Jo over Roxie purely because she does more healing and has that charge generation buff. But for all of those people that joined after Jocasta has been featured and haven't been lucky to snag her in the Manor of Legends portal, Roxie is most likely the best direct healer that you're going to have the opportunity to summon for. So all in all, very solid healer, very competitive option, worth giving her repelling gear if you don't have some of those other options, like Jocasta that I mentioned. So for Roxie's grading, I'm going to rank her as an A- for war and raid attacks. Healers, especially good healers, are always useful in them. For war machines, I'm only going to give her a C+ just because she doesn't really contribute much to a war machine attack team. For events, a B- because she does heal and part of the scoring is based on the health remaining. For war and raid defense, I'm going to give her a B, probably a flank hero, maybe a wing. I'm not generally a huge fan of just straight healers on a defense team, so maybe a B- there, B-. In the tournament settings, no grading for Bloody Battle. You just wouldn't use her in a Bloody Battle. She has no effectiveness there. On buff boosting, I'm going to give her a B+ and a B-. Slight reduction from her other grades just because she doesn't really inherit any benefit because she doesn't give any buffs. She also doesn't have any buff removal, so she's a little bit worse off. For charged attack, I'm going to keep her at an A- and a B for attack and defense. That's because she does have some improvement, but it's not a massive speed improvement like you get with some of the slower healers. So overall, for a grading, that comes out as being a B grade for attack and a B grade for defense. So like I said, very solid hero to get and level. Overall, that concludes the content that I have for this review of Roxie. As always, this is just my personal opinion on these heroes. I love hearing your thoughts and feedback on them, so please jump down into the comments section of the video and drop me a note. I love reading them. I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, like it, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, but most importantly, share the video around to your alliance mates and the people that you play with, because chances are, if you found this video to be useful for yourself, it's also going to be useful to the other people you play with as well. So thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review of Roxie. I do hope to see you again soon in some other videos, but until then, stay safe, good luck with your puzzle combating, and happy gaming. Cheers, bye!